When you install skirting, sanding skirting boards may well be a part of the process. It can greatly affect the look that is achieved when you're all finished. You can talk to many a carpenter and get varying tips and tricks on how to sand skirting boards. We've made this video to cover everything you need to know. Why should you sand skirting boards? If you're applying a new finish to existing skirting boards, you'll need to sand them down beforehand. This process ensures that any paint and other impurities that are present on the skirtings are removed. You will essentially be stripping back the boards to their original state so that they are ready to be finished again. Sanding the skirting boards also gives the new finish a strong surface to adhere to. This will result in a much higher quality finish once complete and can also save you time and money in the long run. Do you need to sand down skirting boards? As stated before, if you're working with old skirting boards, you will have to sand them down. However, what if you've purchased brand new skirtings? If they're pre-finished, you can normally get away with installing them straight away. You can also buy primed skirting boards. This is the finish that enables the skirting boards to be painted straight away. Here at Skirting World, we pride ourselves on our primed finish. If you buy from us and choose the primed option, you won't need to sand them down before applying your final finish. But be wary, not all suppliers offer a prime finish that is ready straight away. How do you sand skirting boards? We've discussed why you should sand skirting boards down and if it's necessary. Now we'll move on to the actual process. Here's a quick list of items that are needed to start sanding down. Skirting boards, new or existing, sandpaper or electric sander, a dust mask, eye protection, a trestle, or alternative surface to lay the skirtings on. Note that you may not need a trestle if it's existing skirting board you're sanding down, as these will most likely still be fitted to the walls. The process. Clear the area. First off, you'll want to ensure that you prepare the room where you'll be sanding the skirting. Start by removing any furniture that could stop you moving freely around the entire length of the board. It will also prevent the furniture getting covered in dust, as sanding produces quite a lot of this. Use appropriate apparel. Before you start, obviously make sure you're not wearing your best clothing. Ideally, you should also wear a dust mask and eye protection due to the dust that sanding creates. This protects you from any harm that the dust may otherwise cause to your eyes and lungs. Another tip would be to make sure that the room is well ventilated. Keep the windows and doors open where possible. Sand down the skirting boards. Using sandpaper or an electric sander, you can now start the sanding process. With whichever you choose, sand the skirting boards down until the surface is smooth. If you're not sure whether the surface is smooth once you've sanded it, simply, but carefully just in case, run your hand along the surface. This will help you to identify any rough edges that you may have missed. If you've got quite an intricate design, it may take longer to sand down as you'll need to get in all between of the nooks and crannies. Once you've finished, allow the dust to settle before wiping down the skirting and removing the excess dust. After this, you'll be ready to apply your undercoat or any other finish. Should I use sandpaper or an electric sander? There's no right or wrong answer here. Both will do the job. However, depending on the type and size of skirting you have, one possibly could be better than the other. Sandpaper has a smooth side and a rough or coarse side. The rough side is used against the surface you are sanding down. It's available in many different grit numbers, each used based on the material being sanded and the finish required. If you're stripping down years of paint, a lower grit number, between 40 and 60 grit, will work best at first. If you're just making the surface smooth, a higher grit number, between numbers 80 to 120, will give the best results. For the best finish, it is recommended to use a lower grit sandpaper and work up to a higher grit. Although this will be a more time and energy consuming method, it's much easier to get in between the intricate parts of the design. Using an electric sander. If you're looking to speed the process up and exert as little energy as possible, using an electric sander may be the option for you. In theory, it's the same as using sandpaper, but the machine is doing the rubbing part for you. If you've got large flat areas or long lengths to cover, This option will make the job much quicker and often produces a better finish than hand sanding. The downfall of a normal electric sander is that it can be more difficult to get into grooves and small curves that are often present within skirting board designs. Therefore, you may end up using sandpaper as well to finish the skirting off. As you can see, sanding down skirting boards is quite an easy task, but can be time consuming. Hopefully, this video has advised you, and you can go about sanding down skirting as you please. If you do have any other questions or you think we've missed something, don't hesitate to call us or leave a comment down below and we'll endeavour to help you. Otherwise, that concludes another video. Hopefully you found it useful and insightful, and until next time, we will see you in our next video.